All right, good morning, everybody. What's going on? Uh, got some news yesterday about the potential fight between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. Eddie Hearn was being interviewed yesterday on the Conor Ben fight yesterday, and he was talking about where are we in the negotiations for Joshua Fury, and he went on to say that I know I've been saying for the past 6 weeks that we're almost there. And, he also went on to say, we're in a great place with several offers on the table. I'm quietly confident. He was happy to see that Fury posted enthusiasm because he feels as though by Fury posting that he felt as though he has confidence that the fight is close to being done. And then he says the teams will get together. I will try to see Bob Arum on Tuesday. We're nearly there. We have worked really hard and we don't want to give in. He said Wembley will be presented. Financially, it's not in the races. The question is, can we get 100,000 fans on July 24th, the potential date in London? He says the answer is we hope so. He said it is difficult to make a decision on that basis. This is why it's taking longer than expected. It's the logistics, the testing policies, the crowds. But now it is time to make this fight. Now, this summer, we may not get this opportunity again. Both guys accept that, and they're ready for the challenge. So, Eddie Hearn's just basically confirming everything that I said about COVID really presenting a problem for getting this fight done quickly. So, anytime I've come out and talked about this topic, and I've been skeptical and I've been critical. I've never been critical of the fight or the fighters. I'm criticizing the process and what's being done to get us to the finish line. Again, maybe I'm old school, all right? I'm not used to this new way of how boxing works in regards to social media. I started watching boxing when I was 10 years old. I'm 51 years old now. So back when I started watching boxing, and when I started watching boxing in the 80s and then the 90s, the 70s, 80s, and 90s, we didn't have all this stuff about information being released about all the specifics about these contracts. So, in my opinion, the promoter's job is to promote his fighters, is to promote events. It's not his job to go into specific details on the contracts of the fight, reveal all this information that should be talked about behind closed doors. And all of this information that is being leaked out, it appears to be from Eddie Hearn. And he was told, and it was under the understanding, at least it was reported as such, Frank Warren had said this out of his own mouth, that we were not supposed to talk about this fight, any of the specifics, until we had it finalized, until we had the date, the location, and the venue and the financial backing already set in place. That's when we would be able to say to the public, this fight is done. It's going to happen on such and such a date. This is where it's going to happen. And this is the event. This is what we have. But by Eddie Hearn telling us for the past 6 weeks that we'll have an announcement by the end of the week, okay? By him talking about the deadline, okay, he opened himself up to this criticism. Nobody is criticizing the fact that Eddie Hearn is working hard, working extremely hard. I commend Eddie Hearn for his efforts. I'm 100% supportive of Eddie Hearn's efforts here. In my opinion, it appears that Eddie Hearn is doing all the work. But one thing that he said that kind of struck me as funny is, I'm going to try and see Bob Arum next week. So if you're trying to put this fight together and there are other promoters that are going to be involved in the event, then why are you just now saying that you're going to reach out to them? Why have you not made an effort? And I don't know if you have or you haven't, but I'm just going by the information that you've revealed. If you're only now, I'm sure they've talked or whatever, but have they really had a formal sit down, and have they really extensively in detail negotiated this fight between the two teams? If you're going to sit down now and you haven't been talking and having meetings all along, then it just seems kind of it just doesn't seem it just seems kind of bizarre that now you would be talking to the other side. A fight of this magnitude between two camps, between two fighters who have Tyson Fury has two promoters, he has a management team. Anthony Joshua has a promoter, has a management team. If you're going about it and you're taking the lead here, but you're not working with the other side, and you're only saying now that you're going to sit down with Bob Arum, that doesn't make sense to me. Why would you not be talking to Bob Arum all along? Why would you not be? And maybe you have, I don't know, but you're only now just revealing that you're going to try and talk to Bob Arum this week. So my whole thing has been this. It's not the promoter's job to negotiate a fight in the press. It's not the promoter's job to reveal the specific details of the contract. When a fight is being put together, okay, then all that information is confidential. It should be confidential. So if you're leaking that confidential information to the press, and then you're telling everybody every week that we'll have an announcement by the end of the week, you're setting up this environment for dissent. You're creating this environment where you're forcing the fans, or you're putting the fans in a position to play the blame game. Sort of like what happened with Mayweather Pacquiao. You had the two factions. Okay. And obviously we know that we do have the Wilder fanboys out there that out of spite, they do not want this fight to happen. Okay. Because they think that Fury should be fighting Wilder next. And if he's not going to fight Wilder next, then they don't want this fight to happen, because they they just want to be spiteful and they just want to be hateful. And to lump me in with that group of people is just wrong. I'm a huge Tyson Fury fan, okay? But I'm objective. I know how volatile he is. So of course I expect him to say one thing one day and another thing another day. That doesn't mean he shouldn't be held accountable for what he says. If you want to criticize him for flip-flopping, that's fine. I mean, but the bigger picture here is the fact that this fight was negotiated in the press in the first place, the fact that a deadline was even revealed, the fact that all of these specific details were leaked to the press, and it appears that it was leaked to the press by Eddie Hearn. So all of a sudden, because I'm critical of all that, because now this puts pressure on Eddie Hearn. He did it to himself. I think Eddie Hearn's the best promoter in boxing right now. I think he's a phenomenal promoter. I have no problem with Eddie Hearn's work ethic. I have no problem. He put on an outstanding show yesterday, and I commend him for that. I think he's doing a phenomenal job with DAZN right now. Okay? My only problem with Eddie Hearn is his mouth. He's constantly giving interviews, and when you constantly give interviews, you end up saying things that you probably wish you didn't say. Okay, so he snaps at Coogan, and he's like, "Well, because Coogan asked him about these dates and these all these offers that he's getting, and can he reveal any specifics about the offers?" And then he's like, "Well, that's not that's not your job to know that, Coogan." He goes, "This is confidential information." Well, again, you're 100% correct. But shouldn't all of the other stuff that's been leaked up have been confidential too? Did everyone need to know that about this deadline? Or again, like it's like Mayweather Pacquiao when Bob Arum created this website, or he had this website, or I think it was on Top Rank's website. They put a deadline on there and they put a clock, and they're like, "Oh, 30 days and the clock is ticking." And all that did was create drama. It created animosity between the two camps. So my question is, did it help the promotion in any way? Is it going to help make the fight get done any faster by releasing that information about the deadline, about the agreement, about the two fights? You're talking about two fights when they haven't even had one fight yet. Did the fans need to know all the details of that? Because all you did was give people ammunition to criticize you. You put yourself in a position where if you don't get this fight done in 30 days, people are going to be like, "Oh, you're misleading the public now." And if you're going to sit there and tell the people every week that you're going to get an announcement at the end of this week, every week, if you're going to keep doing that for the past 6 weeks, then you're only opening yourself up to criticism. If you just shut your mouth from the beginning, you never opened your mouth. Obviously, COVID is not anyone's fault. Okay. So the way the whole thing is being presented is it's putting boxing fans in a position where they have to blame somebody. And in my opinion, the only thing that should be blamed here is COVID. In my opinion, if we weren't in this pandemic right now, we already would have had this fight signed and sealed. In my opinion, so this isn't about Eddie criticizing Eddie Hearn for or not acknowledging the hard work that he's put in. Again, I commend him. I commend him. Okay, that's not the criticism here. The criticism here is why reveal the details? Why give the public and the press information when it's really not useful? It's nobody's business to know the details of the agreement, because the agreement that you talked about is virtually useless, okay, until there's an actual fight contract drawn up. That's the thing. That's the thing. So why get mad at me because and like, "Oh, you keep making videos about it." Again, it's the biggest fight in boxing. Everyone's talking about it. So we're just gonna pretend like we're just gonna pretend that it's not there. We're gonna pretend that it's not a story. You want me to stop talking about it? Tell Eddie Hearn to stop talking about it. You have no problem with Eddie Hearn talking about it because apparently he's telling you what you want to hear. But because I'm telling you what you don't want to hear, because I'm telling you the truth, you want to censor me. Channel won't ever be censored. And if you're going to come on here and say, "Oh, well, Beeb, why do you keep making videos about it?" My response to you is, why do you keep watching them? Why do you keep watching them? If you don't like what I'm saying, okay, then don't listen to me. Okay. We have to admit that there was no need for Hearn to continue to say week after week that we're almost done. By doing that, all you do is get everybody anxious. Okay? You get everybody anxious. What he should have done was he should have said this. "We are working hard behind the scenes to get this fight done. The goal is to get it done by late July. I have offers on the table, which I am going to present to both fighters. And if they agree to the offers, then we will have a fight. It is my intention to do everything I can and work as hard as possible to get this fight done." And that's all he had to say. And then there would be no problem. There would be nothing to criticize him about. But by sitting there saying, oh, there's a deadline, both fighters have to agree within 30 days. We got 2 fights lined up. One's in the summer, one's by the end of the year. Again, it's not your job to explain the contracts to the fans. Because, like you said, it's not Coogan's business. It's not our business. It's not the press's business to know about the deadline. It's not the press's business to know about all these little specific fine details. Okay? So, as great of a promoter as Eddie Hearn, as much as I enjoy the cards that he has put together, as much as I can respect and appreciate his work ethic, okay? And it seems like he is doing all of the work here, okay? But if that's the case, then you need to reach out to the other side and say, hey, man, if we all work together, we can get this fight done even faster. Instead of putting it all on my shoulders, okay, and making me do all the work, if you were to help me, maybe we'll get this done faster. Has he done that? I don't know. I don't know. So that's the thing. That's the thing. So COVID is the problem here. And that's all John Fury was saying. And Eddie Hearn said John Fury is right. Okay? And of course, again, why are they being negative? Because they're frustrated. Okay? Tyson Fury has not fought in 14 months. And if this fight is in July, then guess what? May, you got April, May, June. That'll be another 3 months. So he will have been out of the ring for 17 months without fighting. He's frustrated because he's been inactive. And the guy suffers from depression. And by him being inactive, it worsens the symptoms of his depression. And everyone acts surprised. Well, why is he being negative? Tyson Fury has always been like this. One day he'll say one thing, and another day he'll totally contradict himself. That's not justifying the behavior. But to act surprised about the behavior, come on. I mean, how long have we been following Tyson Fury's behavior? How long have we known Tyson Fury? I love the guy to death. He's my favorite fighter. He's by far my favorite fighter in boxing. But I know that he's unpredictable. I know at any time he can come out and say one thing and then tomorrow totally contradict it. He could come out tomorrow and say, I'm going to retire. Again, that's not condoning the behavior. That's just understanding and not being surprised by it. So don't come on. You can come on here and say whatever you want. Okay. I hope this fight happens more than anybody. Why would I not want this fight to happen? I love Tyson Fury. I have the utmost respect for Anthony Joshua. You're trying to tell me I would rather see Tyson Fury fight someone else instead of Anthony Joshua? I'd rather see him fight tune-ups. How is that going to be entertaining? Like that would make me feel better to see Tyson Fury fight a tune-up instead of fight Anthony Joshua? Are you really going to say that to me? People who've been following me, I've been on here since 2009, okay? I've been on here since 2009. I've been on here for 12 years, okay? You're going to sit there and tell me that I'm against this fight happening? No. I'm upset at the fact that Eddie Hearn created an environment where now we have a situation where we have a divide, where now we're not talking about the fight anymore. Now we're talking about who's ducking, whose fault it is, instead of talking about, wow, this fight's going to be great, breaking down the fight itself, talking about who's going to win and why, talking about, oh, well, we're looking forward to this fight. Now we're talking about whose fault is it if the fight doesn't happen? Who's ducking who? Okay. Now you created an environment that is causing dissent. It's causing anxiety. It's causing anger. It's causing frustration. That's the thing. So this whole thing about who's ducking who, that's just ridiculous. It's stupid talk. And I think Eddie Hearn fueled and fanned the flames for this. Again, I'm going to repeat it. I'm working hard to get this fight done. I have several offers. I'm hoping to get this fight done and we can put this fight on at the end of July. I'm working very hard. I'm going to talk to people, and I'm going to explore all the offers out there from the various countries, and I'm going to present those offers to the fighters, and I am hoping that both fighters will agree to the terms that are going to be presented to them, and then we have a fight. That's all that had to be said. But by giving the fans more information than they needed to hear, by going into the specifics, by trying to negotiate this fight, just like they did with Wilder Joshua, when you negotiate the fight in the press, then this is what you have. Okay? This is what you have. So don't be upset now that people are criticizing you, because the pressure that that's being put on you right now to get this fight done, you created that pressure yourself. And if anyone doesn't understand that, then you don't want to understand that. It's not about criticizing him trying to put this fight together. It's not about him. He's going all over the world. He's doing the things that the other guys aren't doing. He is doing all of the work. And we commend him for that. But nobody needs a play-by-play of the negotiations. It's not your job to reveal that information to the public. Your job is to try to get the fight done and secure it. And then once it is secured, it's your job to promote and sell the fight to the public. It is not your job to give the fans an education on contracts. Okay? That is confidential information. It's unprofessional. And you should know better. You're too smart. You're too smart to not know better. That's what I'm trying to say here. Oh, Beeb, you're being negative. I'm not being negative. Tell me one thing I'm lying about. He admitted himself that I have been telling you for the past 6 weeks that this fight is close and that I will have an announcement by the end of the week. I told you that 6 times. He admitted that. That's not something I said. That's something he said. And then now he's saying, I'm quietly optimistic. I don't want to say too much because I've already said too much as it is. And I'm paraphrasing, but that's pretty much what he said. He goes, I've already said too much, he said. I've already told you for the past 6 weeks, and I know people are going to be like, oh, here he goes again. All you got to do is go back and listen to the interview. I'm sure if he could do it all over again, I would say, and it's my opinion. I'm not saying that this is factual. This is my opinion. I'm sure if he had it to do all over again, he regrets talking about the deadline. He regrets talking about the agreement. Because Frank Warren did come out and say that we were not supposed to talk about it until it was done. And he broke code. That's the argument here. We are where we are right now with the negativity because of what he said. Eddie is doing more than a splendid job. He's doing a phenomenal job. He's doing an incredible job. That card yesterday, I thoroughly enjoyed. I loved it. The way Eddie's the best promoter in boxing right now. His biggest problem is his mouth. He needs to shut his mouth. He tells the press things he shouldn't. He talks too much. And because of that, he creates problems for himself. Because now if the fight, for whatever reason, doesn't happen, everyone's going to be looking at him. Well, why did you keep telling us it was almost done when it wasn't almost done? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Now, if Tyson Fury is offered the fight, it's not negativity coming. It's not negativity. It's frustration. Let's call things for what they are. It's not negativity. It's frustration. Again, the guy has been out of the ring for 14 months. He's frustrated. Okay? He's aggravated. He suffers from depression. He's a volatile guy. This is who he is. It's not negativity. The fact is, Eddie Hearn admittedly came out and said, I have been telling you for the past 6 weeks, we are close. I have been telling you every week, by the end of the week, I will have an announcement. These are Eddie Hearn's words. And we have not had an announcement. Okay? That doesn't mean that I don't think Eddie Hearn is not in good faith trying to put this fight together. Again, I think we need to keep things in context here. We have to frame things appropriately here. Okay? By Fury showing frustration, if that's going to be perceived as negativity, that's fine. But you have to understand, he's already had 2 fights fall through, meaning the Wilder rematch has fallen through. Okay? Then he was supposed to fight in December against Ajit Cabral. That fight fell through. So, judging by what has happened to him in this past year, if he's going to have some pessimism here, if he's going to be frustrated, okay, then I think that's understandable. I think that's understandable. That does take us up to tomorrow. I agree. And hopefully we get an announcement tomorrow. But if we don't get an announcement tomorrow, because he revealed that 30 days to the public, he put himself in a situation where he can be open to criticism. Again, the whole argument is this: you don't negotiate fights in the press. It's not your job to tell the press and the fans the finer details of a contract or an agreement. Those are things that are supposed to be left behind closed doors. Again, what should have been said, and I'm going to say it a third time for the slow people: I am working hard to get this fight done. I am doing everything in my power to get this fight done. I have talked to several people, several countries, and I am looking for dates. I have offers on the table that I will present to the fighters. Hopefully, they agree to the offers. My goal is to try to get this fight done by late July. That is what I'm shooting for. Hopefully, we can get it done. That's all he needed to say. That's all he would have need to have said. Everything is fine. Again, I'm not criticizing the fact that Fury's gonna. That's not the question. What I'm criticizing here is we're in a situation where people are upset and they're frustrated because information was leaked out that should not have been leaked out. That's all I'm saying. That is my point. That is my point. Okay? He said, I'm quietly optimistic. That's what he said. I will present the offers. So to sit there and say a fight is close to being done, if you haven't even presented the offers to the fighters yet, that is not a truthful statement. So if you're going to sit there and tell people that something is almost done when the contracts have not been drawn up, when the fight has not been sorted out completely, when there's no date, when there's no venue, and again, it's great that he's working hard to get that stuff done. But don't talk about it until it's done. That's all I'm saying. The fans don't need a play-by-play analysis on the contracts or the potential contracts or the deadlines. No one should have been told this information. That's all I'm saying. I don't understand what I don't understand what people what you're not understanding. I mean, I think you've chosen to take a side, and you don't want to listen to objectivity. It's not a promoter's job to tell somebody about a deadline. It's not a promoter's job to tell somebody about contracts. That's not a promoter's job. That's not a promoter's job. That's it. No, I'm upset because I'm being told every week that I'm going to get an announcement, and I'm not going to get an announcement, and I haven't got an announcement. I don't know. I don't understand. Like that doesn't bother you guys that every week we're being told that the fight's going to be announced at the end of the week, and it's not. That doesn't bother you. That doesn't bother you. That's all I'm saying. It bothers me. It bothers me. It's irritating to me because now you're giving fans ammunition to blame somebody if the fight doesn't happen. You're setting up an environment of hostility and dissent. That's it. You're making it more about who's ducking who instead of the fight itself. That's it is. Of course I mean, this isn't I mean, to me, I would not like if someone told you that every week, say you went for a job on a job interview, or you were trying to buy a house, and every week the realtor said to you, okay, we'll have this done by the end of the week, and you'll be able to start moving in by the end of the week. If someone told you that for the past 6 weeks, that wouldn't bother you. That wouldn't bother you. If someone told you, if you went for a job interview and you had to wait 2 months to be accepted for the job, and then you started calling the company, oh, we'll let you know soon, we'll let you know soon, we'll let you know soon, we'll let you know soon. That wouldn't bother you. I'm maybe you're different than me then. If someone tells me that they're going to do something, I expect them to do it. And if you like being told things, and the person that tells you something doesn't do what they tell you they're going to do, if you like that, then again, maybe we're just different people. Maybe we have philosophical differences here. Maybe some people like being told. You know what it is? It all boils down to this. People just like to hear what they want to hear. If they're being told what they like to hear, whether it's truthful or not, they'll accept it. That's all. That's all. Just come out and say that. Say that I like what I'm being told. Whether it's true or not, doesn't matter to me. I just like what I'm being told. That's all. If you like that, then just tell me that. Then I can accept it. Then I can make sense of it. So just tell me. I like if someone's telling me what I want to hear, whether it's truthful or not, doesn't matter to me. You know, if that's what you want, it's like if you're heavy or whatever, right? You weigh 300 pounds, right? And then you ask somebody, hey, do you think I'm overweight? If you don't want them to tell you the truth, if you want them to tell you no, then that's fine. That's all. Ralph, you have to be truthful. He admitted that he told you for 6 weeks that the fight was close. He admitted that for 6 weeks he told you by the end of each of those 6 weeks that he would have an announcement. He did not do what he said he would do. He did not announce the fight when he said he would. For 6 weeks, he told you every week he would announce the fight. You have to be truthful. Now, if you want to say, yeah, I don't care that he did that as long as the fight gets made, then say that. But you have to admit that he did not do what he said he would do. If you say, oh, well, he's just doing that for promotion, okay, that's fine. But you have to understand that it's going to rub a lot of people the wrong way if you keep telling them for the past 6 weeks At the end of the week, I'll have an announcement. We have to be honest. Part of a promoter's job is deception. Okay, you're supposed to sell the fight. That's fine. You know, now you're giving all of the detractors fuel and ammunition to criticize you, because now everyone's going to say, "Oh, I thought you said the fight was going to be announced last week. Oh, I thought you said the fight was going to be announced last week." I agree. That's what he should have said from the beginning. What good? All you have to do is answer the question. You want to talk to me about it? Let's talk about it. Explain your side of the story. Explain to me what positive it did putting a deadline and telling everybody for the past 6 weeks that the fight was close. Explain your argument. Explain your argument. Because I don't think it did anything. I don't think it did any help. I think it hurted the fight more. I think it hurt the fight more. I don't think it did the fight or gave the fight or did the fight any benefit by releasing information to the public about that. So that's my position here. That has been my position all along. It's not your job to negotiate the fight in the press. You know, before we get started, I have a bone to pick with Layton. Layton leaves a comment on my video. I didn't even watch the video, but I know that you're going to criticize Hearn. I mean, come on, man. You didn't even watch the video and you took shots at me, bro.
That's just because I went off the title, mate. I went off the title. I thought you were going somewhere.
Was it? No, it wasn't. But that was. You have to admit that was wrong to do that.
Yeah.
You didn't even. Apology accepted. Explain to me why this is good that he's releasing the details of all these little intimate details about this process. Go ahead, Ralph. Teach me something. I want to learn why he did what he did and why it's good for the promotion. Explain to me.
Okay. First of all, how do you do? Hello, good morning, good afternoon, Beeb, Layton, everybody. Okay, so yeah, I mean, my position is this: Eddie Hearn has been out there busting his ass. Like he said in the interview. Bob ain't doing it. Frank ain't doing it. Nobody's doing it apart from Eddie. Eddie's doing it. And he made a statement. He said that give me 30 days, 28 days, and we will deliver. I shall deliver. Me, 258 from management will deliver. Now, that deadline comes up on tomorrow, the 12th. Yeah, we worked it out on the show live. The 12th was the date. That was D-Day. And that's tomorrow. Now, 2 days ago, I believe it was 2 days ago, Tyson Fury came out and said, yes, we've got, the offer's in my lap. The offer's in my lap. We got some great offers. We got Wembley. We got Qatar. We got Saudi. We got America. That was 2 days ago. We will get back. We're going to look at the offers tomorrow. I mean, Sunday. That's today. 1 day to go. You know, I mean, he's doing a hell of a job in this climate. What I'm saying to you, Beeb, is that we should be celebrating, mate. We should be celebrating. Pulling this off in this economic climate, that's something to be celebrated, Beeb. And my argument is that rather than celebrate it, we're quibbling about days. We're quibbling about the this week, next week, last week. The thing is, to my view, the only thing here is that we should be celebrating, really and truly. That's what we should be doing.
Ralph, what are we celebrating, though?
We're celebrating the fact that in this trying climate, in this, what some people could describe as adverse climate, we're getting undisputed. undisputed in the pandemic era. That's incredible. That is incredible.
But shouldn't we wait for the fight to actually be agreed upon by both fighters and the contract signed before we celebrate? You don't think we're putting the cart before the horse?
We're celebrating stage by stage because it's been such a tumultuous ride that we're celebrating stage step by step. We're just happy. We heard so much negativity coming from we heard so much negativity coming from the Wilder side. No, you ain't going nowhere. You ain't doing nothing till you fight me for the third time. Well, we had that to deal with. We had that to deal with.
Okay.
We were worried.
Which was irrelevant banter by Wilder and his team, which was irrelevant. But go ahead.
Well, we don't know how relevant we didn't know how relevant or irrelevant it was, and to this day, we still don't know how relevant or irrelevant it is. We still don't know for sure that Wilder can't put the kibosh on this thing.
He can't.
We hope he can't, but we hope he can't, but we still don't know for sure. We have not seen.
No, he can't. He can't because all that he can get now is monetary damages. That's what he's seeking. He can't stop the fight.
Okay, so that's what we think and that's what we hope.
Unless Bob Arum lied to me, then I Bob Arum would have had to lie to me when I asked him. That's all.
That's what he's a promoter. You yourself have made comments on the reliability of their statements. So
and I'm not saying what he's saying is 100% correct either. So
yeah, so there's an element of doubt. There's an element of doubt.
There is an element of doubt, 100%.
Okay, so there's an element of doubt. So we're celebrating baby steps. We all want, most of us want to see undisputed, and every step of the way is a mini triumph. To me, that's how I see it. You're on a cliff face. Every step towards the top is an achievement.
But Ralph, and again, I'm not putting words in your mouth, but it sounds to me like because you like what's being told to you, you're happy with that. Is it possible? Is it possible that maybe this fight does not get announced tomorrow? Is that possible?
I'd find it astounding. I would find it astounding if it got announced tomorrow.
But is it possible?
I'm not expecting it to be announced tomorrow.
So you Layton, I'm going to let you jump in 3 seconds. But you will have to admit that you're basing your opinion right now on hope, correct? It's a lot of hope.
Well, it's not.
It's faith. It is. There is a lot of hope and faith.
Optimism. Optimism.
Right.
Hope is a fair word. Hope is a fair word. It's a very fair word.
Faith.
Hope. I'm hopeful.
Okay.
I'm hopeful. I hope we get what we want to get, which is an undisputed fight.
I'm gonna make one more statement, then I'm gonna let Layton jump in here.
Okay.
I'm a big circumstantial evidence guy. I'm a big empirical data guy. I'm a big history guy.
Okay.
Have we been here before only to have our hearts broken? Yes or no? Let's be truthful. Be truthful.
Can you give me an example? I'm trying to think of something. Can we think of an example?
We were told that Wilder Joshua was almost done. We were told for 5 years straight that Mayweather Pacquiao was almost done. Right? And Wilder Joshua never happened.
We were never told that Wilder Joshua was almost done.
There was a tweet. There was a tweet from Eddie Hearn, and he did say that.
Yeah, the one was Raf. One was the
okay. Okay.
So my whole thing is I'm an evidence guy. I'm a science guy. I'm an evidence guy. Full disclosure, I'm not a real religious person. I consider myself agnostic. So I'm not a hope and faith guy. I never have been. I'm a guy that I need to see it in front of me. I need to be able to look at it. I need to be able to touch it. I need to be able to see it. I need to be able to hear it. And that's the type of person I am. So history has shown us we've been here before, only to have the rug pulled out from under us. So this is Can I
come in here? Can I come in here?
Let me just finish this. I commend Eddie Hearn 150% on his effort. He is the best promoter in boxing right now. I'm just saying it. But I don't like the fact that he tells the press too much. because it opens him up to criticism and it sets him up for failure sometimes.
B,
Let Layton jump in after you go. We'll let Layton jump in.
After I go, Layton can jump in. Styles.
Eddie Hearn.
Yeah, Layton, I just go and then you come in after me. Styles. Like, a lot of things about style. Who's your favorite basketball player? Style. Who's your favorite boxer? Style. What's your favorite car? Style. Why do you like this twin better than the other twin? Style. Eddie Hearn has a particular style. You may like it, you may dislike it, but it's his style. At the end of the day, he gets results more often than not.
Yeah.
What he's doing right now is in this climate is remarkable, and he is to be applauded. That doesn't mean that his style will be greeted by universally as the style to have. We all have preferences, we all have likes, we have dislikes. His style may not please you, but at the end of the day, surely we have to go off results. That's my position.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is, like, Eddie Hearn, he makes himself so available to all YouTubers and everything. He's getting interviewed every day, so he's going to be getting asked this same question all the time. Yeah, he do talk too much. I agree with you, Beam, but that's his style. Like what Rafi's saying, he does that. It's every fight. He's always, when Coogan's asking him, he drops a little gem here and then. He always does it all the time. But he do get the deals done, like all the time. He gets the deals done.
Eddie Hearn reminds me of that boxer that has all the skill in the world and he could just win fights by boxing. But for whatever reason, he likes to slug it out and make the fight more exciting and more difficult for himself. To me, it seems like Eddie Hearn wants the drama. That's how he is. He looks for the drama. But if you're looking for the drama and you get the drama, then you got to deal with the repercussions of that drama. So if this fight does not get made, then he's going to be slated by a lot of people.
I would say in response to that, for me, if someone is trying their damnedest, to get something done, get a deal across the line, then if it doesn't get made, then you can blame Eddie. But you have to look at the flip side of that. What you can also blame Frank Warren and Bob Arum.
100%, because it should be a collective effort.
Should be a collective effort, and somebody's pulling harder. Someone's tugging on the tug of war. Someone's pulling harder than the others.
But then when Frank Warren is going to say, and he's already said this, and Bob Arum is going to say it as well, is we never guaranteed you the fight was going to happen. The problem is COVID. Because that's the problem here. It's the major obstacle in this fight is not the fighters, it's not the promoters, it's not the management teams. I think it's fair to say it's COVID. And that's what we have to acknowledge.
I don't think so. Because the Saudis, when they had done the Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua, they only had a 5,000 capacity crowd there. And so it wasn't about big crowds there. For them, it was just about having it in their country. They were paying the money, and they paid the money for that to say, we guarantee we want undisputed. And Saudis just want to be known, to put themselves on the map. And they've already guaranteed Eddie that they'll pay for it. So I can't see there being a problem. And Eddie said he's going to put the offers to the fighters today.
Well, here's the problem. What we do know is the United States has a vaccine, and it seems like people are getting vaccinated, and it seems like we're going in the right direction. Seems like the UK, not the UK, I want to say Great Britain is going in the right direction. What you guys have getting people vaccinated. Seems like things are looking good for you guys. But there are a lot of areas in the world where they don't have the vaccine rolled out. They don't have the numbers going down yet. So we have to look at this collectively, not just from the United States perspective, not just from Great Britain's perspective. We got to look at how are things going in Saudi with COVID? How are they dealing with COVID? What are their cases looking like? What is the situation with the vaccine over in Saudi Arabia? And I'm sure people from the UK are going to want to travel. Eddie Hearn had questioned, we still have to work out the testing. We still have to work out the travel arrangements. We still don't know what the restrictions are. So COVID is still evolving, and that's going to have an impact on how this fight is going to be finalized. We have to acknowledge that. That's why to be so specific about, yeah, we're going to have an announcement, yeah, we're almost done. I just think it's irresponsible to promote that way. I just don't think it's appropriate. I think what he should have said was, this is what I think he should have said. I am working very hard, and I'm trying to bring Team Fury on board with the negotiations.
Yes, said that.
I'm out there doing this, that, and the third. Okay, I'm out there talking to people, and I am putting offers together with various countries and various locations. I will present that. He should have left it at that. Didn't have to talk about, the deadline. We're almost done. We're close.
Well, we do know that Tyson Fury has received multiple offers. Now, these offers come with a date and a location.
Yes.
So we do know that there are multiple sites who have a date and location, and the money is set. The offer is in Tyson Fury's lap. So what we got? We got date, we got location.
Well, Tyson Fury still has to say yes.
Yes. Tyson Fury has to say yes. The ball is in his court.
But it's going to be his biggest payday by a landslide. So there's no reason for him not to say yeah.
We would think so, right? But again, we're dealing with a volatile human being. I'm the biggest fan of Tyson Fury. We all know this. But would I be surprised if Tyson Fury came out tomorrow and said, no, I'm not fighting? No, because that's who he is.
Well, then that's on Tyson Fury, isn't it?
That's Tyson Fury's fault.
You can't blame Eddie Hearn for Tyson Fury.
Okay. But if I'm going out with the girl, and I know that girl has a shady reputation, and I know she slept around, right? I go in that raw dog and I get AIDS. That's my fault, not hers.
Damn.
That's my Sunday. I apologize.
Couldn't you have said something like the clap? Couldn't you just go with the clap? Something less lethal?
So you're Eddie Hearn. You got to know.
Downscale it?
You're right, but you're Eddie Hearn. You know who you're dealing with. You know how volatile Tyson Fury is. So to not have in the back of your mind that this guy at any time could just.
But that's no. That's not Eddie Hearn's fault. We all know the volatility. We all know that chick. We all know that chick. And that's not your fault. That's not your fault. You took her out. You found out what she was doing in the car park while you was at the bar getting the drinks. That's not your fault.
My thing is this. Anyone who is involved in a promotion with Tyson Fury cannot be overly optimistic or 100% confident that any fight Tyson and Fury is involved in is going to happen with 100% certainty, because this is a guy who signed to fight Klitschko in a rematch, actually had a press conference, and still pulled out of the fight at the very end. So that's what I'm saying.
We collectively know that.
So that's what I'm saying.
That's not Eddie Hearn's fault. That's not Eddie Hearn's fault. We collectively know that.
Ralph, again, it's not about blaming anybody. It's about the reality of the situation and having awareness of what we're dealing with, what he's dealing with.
And we all individually have responsibility to be looking at it from a sensible, intelligent standpoint.
Hearn should not, knowing how volatile Tyson Fury is, should not say that we're close to being done. What he should say is this: we have the offers. If Team Fury agrees, then we have a fight. If he doesn't, we don't. Just tell the reality of the situation by leading people to believe that
volatile.
By leading people to believe
is what you're saying. It could all be signed up, the whole contract, everything signed up, and Fury could pull out on the night of the fight. Do you know what I mean? So you can't go into deals like that. If Fury could pull out any time, there's no one else except for Fury.
All right, but at least you could say that we had the fight, that we had the fight done, and then he pulled out after we had the fight done. Don't sit there and say the fight's done when the fight's not done yet.
Well, the fight's almost done, but the point is, and to your point, the point you're making is that even when the fight's done, even when all the contracts are signed, it still ain't done.
No, that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is we can't bank he can't sit there and say with 100% certainty that he is 100% sure that Fury is going to sign that contract. That's what I'm trying to say. That's all I'm saying.
Well, no, hold on. But then that's on Fury. That's got nothing to do with Eddie Hearn.
But again, you can't say a fight's almost done until the contracts are signed. Can't.
The contracts are signed. The contracts are signed. They just haven't got a site.
No, an agreement is signed, not the actual contract for the fight.
Okay, but we know that Tyson Fury has the contract, has the offers. He signed the contract, the agreement. Now he has to sign agreeing to an offer. So we know that's the stage right now. We're at the stage where Fury will have a decision to make about which, I would imagine they're going to say, well, pick your first option, your second option, and your third option. Because remember, both fighters are going to have to agree on the same option.
Okay.
So I would imagine they're going to say option 1, option 2, option 3. Now,
when Fury does, if Fury does sign this contract, do I think that he'll go through with the fight? Yes, I think he will. But my big question mark is, I'm concerned whether or not this fight will actually get put to paper, because we've been here before. We have.
I don't see your concern. There's 3 offers. I mean, there are multiple offers. Tyson Fury has come out and made it public that he's excited about the offers. He didn't say the offers were good. He said they were great. If Tyson Fury does not sign, then it's entirely upon him. The failure of the fight is on Tyson Fury.
So in both of your opinions, what is the percentage of this fight being signed tomorrow? Or no.
Not
what is
signed tomorrow.
What is your percentage of this fight being announced by the end of this week?
I go with 85%.
Okay. What is yours, Ralph?
My percentage, the chances of this fight being signed by the end of the week, very high, up into the
90s,
up into the high 80s,
high 80s,
85% and up. Yeah,
all right,
I agree with Layton on that.
Well, I'm 50-50. I wish I could say
the negativity, B. I don't get it. I really don't. Because it's all shown. If you watched Eddie Hearn last night, he said it's practically done. He sent the offers to the fighters. They just got to accept it. You've seen Tyson Fury being happy as he was the other day. There's nothing to stop him, mate.
So it doesn't bother you guys at all that for the past 6 weeks, we've been told it's close, and we're told that we'll have an announcement by the end of the week. For the past 6 weeks, that doesn't bother you?
No, Beep. I haven't heard Eddie.
He had 28 days to do it.
Layton, just let me say this, please.
Did you hear the interview yesterday? Did you hear the interview yesterday? Eddie Hearn, quote unquote. You hear what he said?
You heard what he said. What I'm saying to you, Beeb, is that I haven't heard Eddie Hearn for the last 6 weeks saying that the fight is going to be announced at the end of the week. I haven't heard that at all. What I've heard is, I'll tell you what I've heard. What I've heard is that we're in a pandemic. So it's not going to be as easy as it would have been without the pandemic. But even though we're in the pandemic, we're making headway. We are making headway.
I'm gonna pull the interview up, and I'm gonna go to that point. And he said it himself.
What did he say, Beep? What did he say?
I'm gonna play it for you.
All right. Go ahead, Layton.
Hold on. You can talk with, and when I got it, I'll do it.
That's what I'm saying. Go ahead, Layton.
Wait.
Yeah, and I just don't understand the negativity. I really don't.
It's not negativity. It's just reality.
Not you, B. Not you, B. Personally, everyone. It's everywhere. Everywhere wrong. It's negativity. The thing this fight won't happen.
I can't do any more than I'm doing. People are excited. People know we're just, it won't be long. And just forgive me, because obviously I'm not. I'm doing. People are excited. People know we're on the verge now. And fingers crossed, it won't be long. And just forgive me, because obviously I'm not too experienced. I can't do any more than I'm doing. People are excited. We're in a good place. We're nice and close. I don't want to talk too much on it. That sounds as though that's not something I'd say, but everyone is probably watching this saying, oh, here he goes again. He keeps saying it. All I can tell you is I can't do any more than I'm doing. People are excited. People know we're on the verge now. And fingers crossed, it won't be long. And just forgive me, because obviously I'm not too experienced in the business side of boxing. Oh, don't be harsh on yourself. No, well, there's still time. What about those offers? When they're on the table, is there a clock ticking on the offers? Have they got to accept them or reject them by a certain time? I don't think it's going to take a lot of decisions. I mean, I think both guys are desperate to get moving. You've seen Tyson Fury running the clock down this week. And AJ wants to know the date and work towards the start of his camp. He's virtually already in camp already. So this is the biggest fight in boxing. This is one of the biggest fights of all time. For me, this is the sporting event of 2021. One lucky site's going to get some good news next week, and the whole world will stop to watch this fight. The build-up is going to be like something you've never seen before. It's two British world heavyweight champions fighting for the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. It doesn't get any bigger than this. It will never get any bigger than this in our generation. So that's why we refuse to give up on it, and that's why we are on the verge. We're on the top of the hill, and hopefully we can scream and shout on the table. As I said, they'll be presented to the fighters tomorrow, and I'm quietly on social media as well. And he doesn't talk that much, AJ, about fights. Guys will be presented with the option to close, and you can feel the excitement building between both fighters right now. We're in a great place. We've got several offers on the table. As I said, they'll be presented to the fighters tomorrow, and I'm quietly confident. And again, it was nice to see Tyson Fury post with a little bit of enthusiasm, because I guess he feels we're close now as well, and the teams will get together. That was good to hear some positivity from as well. What can you tell us? That was good to hear some positivity from Tyson and the team, because they know we're very close.
Yes.
Tomorrow both guys will be presented with the options for the fight in the summer. You heard from Anthony Joshua on social media as well, and he doesn't talk that much, AJ, about fights coming up, and he talked when things are close, and you can feel the excitement building between both fighters right now. We're in a great place. We've got several offers on the table. As I said, they'll be presented to the fighters tomorrow, and I'm quietly confident. And again, it was nice to see Tyson Fury post with a little bit of enthusiasm, because I guess he feels we're close now as well, and the teams will get together. I'm going to try and pop out and see Bob Arum on Tuesday before Andrade against Williams next week, and then we're nearly there. I don't want to get too excited, because I've been telling you it's going to be 2 weeks for about 6 weeks. But
I've been telling you it's going to be 2 weeks for about 6 weeks.
And we don't want to
give. He admitted it. See? Did you hear that?
Anthony Joshua, when he
came to the office
after London.
Oh, you didn't hear that?
I didn't hear that.
Oh, come on, Ralph.
The fight's still happening. The fight's happening.
I've been telling you it's going to be 2 weeks.
He's been playing the tape for an hour, trying to find a 2-second clip.
I've been telling you it's going to be 2 weeks for 6 weeks now. Right?
You played that damn tape for 1 hour looking
I had to find it. I had to find it.
There was about 50 positive points with one negative. You picked out the one negative.
But you said that he didn't say that, and he did say that. He said, I've been telling you it's going to be 2 weeks for 6 weeks now.
That was not literal. That was not literal.
Ralph,
that was not literal.
Come on.
That
sense of humor.
wasn't literal. 50 Shades of Humor going on. That was not a literal statement. But anyway, overall,
I've been telling you for 6 weeks that it's going to be
it was not a literal statement.
Right.
If you say to that girl you two took to that bar, if you said to that girl that you took to that bar, I'm gonna go and get the drinks and I'm gonna be 1 second. Come on, B. It's not literal. But overall, we can all agree that there's been a lot of talking. But we also have to agree. Yeah, I just sent the link out there, Danzan. But we have to agree. We have to agree that we're in a happier place now. We're almost there.
We are in a happier place.
Beeb, I want you to say after me, we are almost there. Say it, Beeb. Come on.
I can't. I can't. I don't want to jinx it. We're in a happier place than we were a week ago.
Let's agree on that. We're in a happier place than we were a week.
I will concede that. Dan, go ahead.
Go on down in the house.
Yeah. Hey, hold on. What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Yeah, man. Come on in, Dan.
What's up? What's up, man?
Come on in, man.
Listen,
Mr. Wet
me
Blanket. hey, B, this guy's on your side. I call this
Listen,
this topic.
I'm on your
Mr.
side.
Wet Blanket.
I'm on your
Ralph,
side, Rocky.
Ralph,
We're
I'm on your
side.
side. You know what I want? You know what I want to happen? I want you to make a video. I want you to tell me tomorrow, Beeb, I told you so. And you know what I'll say? That the fight's going to get done. No.
The fight's going to get done. I said not tomorrow. We talked about at the end of the week, though. Come on.
By the end of the week. I want you to come to me. I want you to come to me at any point in time next week or even the week after that and tell me, Beeb, I told you this fight was going to get done. Why were you so pessimistic? I want you to tell me that.
Let's define what getting done means. Let's be specific. What does getting done? What does the fight mean? If we have a date,
a venue, and a location, and Tyson Fury agrees to it, and then he ends up pulling out after that, then it's all Tyson Fury's fault.
Okay.
100%.
So
if you work it out now, with a 12-week camp, it's going to be about July 24th, 25th, because they're going to have to announce it within 2 weeks, and then
at the earliest,
it's going to be due up now.
At the earliest, this fight probably happened July 24th.
But we're not concerned with the date. We're just talking about getting it done. We just
I agree.
Right.
I agree 100%. Go ahead, Dan.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, what's up? Thanks, Beeb. Hey, but thanks for having me on. Look, let me just say that. Thanks, man. Let me just say this: the fight will happen. Let's just get that out of the bag. It will happen. I guess the argument is, when will it happen? Will it be the issue? And I'm with Beeb. You got to be realistic here. As much as we want to be positive here, let's be realistic, because there's other factors that need to be taken into account. Now we know COVID cases are increasing in Saudi Arabia over the last month or so. And there's been a report that there's a third wave coming around that time of July or June. So I'll be monitoring that very closely if I'm Hearn and Aram, just to make sure that that doesn't deter with the fight. Hopefully it doesn't. But at the same time, it shouldn't. It should kind of worry you if the cases are continuing to climb. So I mean, the number is low still, but at the same time, when a number increases, that still should be something you need to be cautioned about. So that's another one. Number one. Number two, I know Hearn in that clip that you played, B, where he said that that I've been saying for 6 weeks the fight is close, but I beg to differ. He said that months ago that the fight was close. Months ago, he's been saying that. So he's been saying that months ago. And the fact is, like, okay, you say that, but then again, you say that, and when you've been presented, okay, are there any hurdles or anything we need to know about? He said, no, there are no hurdles, little to none. And then we find out there are hurdles. There are hurdles.
Dan, here's the thing. I don't mean to cut you off. I apologize.
Please,
but
it's all good.
The only argument is this. No one is saying Hearn's doing a bad job. No one's saying Hearn's not working hard. The only criticism is shut your fucking mouth and do your job and stop giving people a play-by-play on every little fine detail of the contract. No one needed to know about this deadline, because anytime you tell somebody, hey, man, I want you to do this, and you get it done by this, when you tell somebody that if your boss says to you, hey, man, you got a week to get this done, and if you don't get this done, you're in trouble. You're going to get anxious. You're going to get scared. You're going to not feel good. When you put a deadline on anything, it creates anxiety. So how does creating anxiety benefit this promotion?
Exactly. That's a good point. It doesn't. Right, and I even said it myself, though.
It's all promotion.
I have anxiety. I have fucking psychological issues. He's playing with my emotions. He's fucking my head up. I don't like it.
Let me say this.
Just move to a legal state, B. That'll cure your anxiety, bro.
But to be fair though, he should not. Yeah, he should have not put that announcement out. That there was no need for that. We didn't need to know about that.
You don't tell a sick person like me that something's almost done and it's not almost done.
Yeah, exactly.
Who knows what I'm going to do next?
Never tell Eddie Hearn to shut his mouth.
I may file defamation.
Never shut his mouth.
I may file defamation against this guy.
Well, yeah, there's a thing though. Here's the thing though. When the announcement came out, the biggest assumption was, oh, we're done. The fight's done. We got everything set. We're ready to go. But it turns out that's not the case. It turns out, oh, they just signed a preliminary agreement that we're going to go ahead and get the particulars done, and we have a time frame to get it all worked out. I'm like, well, what was the point of announcing that?
But that was Fury. That was Fury. You announced that.
No, Fury didn't announce it. It was Hearn that announced it. He leaked it over to Mark Kriegel, ESPN, and ESPN broke that story.
Everyone's telling me. Everyone's telling me.
Yeah, but Eddie asked Team Fury for their permission, and they said, yeah.
Everyone's telling me, right? Beeb, just admit the fight's going to happen. Beeb, don't you understand? Me and Tyson Fury have very similar conditions. If I get my hopes up high, only to have my hopes and dreams shattered, right? Do you realize what that can do to me psychologically? I can go into a friggin' depressive stupor, not come out of the room for a couple of days. That's not. Is that what you want to happen to me? Then I won't be able to make videos, and I have to call in sick from work and use my sick days. Is that what you guys want? Show some empathy.
Yeah, I agree. But can I ask a question?
If Fury walks away, from the fight, you'll be even worse, mate. Much
well,
worse.
Well, let me ask you, Rafi and Layton, a question.
High chance that Fury can walk away.
It's possible, but can I ask?
Doesn't happen. I'm hoping that doesn't.
I hope it. Yeah, I agree. I hope it doesn't either. But can I ask Layton and Raf a question to two Brits here? Right. Let me ask you guys a question. Once a fight does get announced, and do we find out that they announced that they will be at this date, but they'll get at least 1 or 2 fights in between, would you be upset about that?
Yeah, 1 or 2 fights in between. There ain't no fights in between.
No. I'm just saying, No. What if it does come to that?
If it comes to that, it comes to that. But as far as I'm aware, there's a time restraint with the WBO, so it's got to be next. But if it's down the line, it's down the line. But right about now, it's got to be next.
I'm gonna say one more thing before I let.
It's gonna be next.
I'm gonna say one more thing before I let Fight Doctor jump in, because I'm dying to hear what he has to say. But I'm gonna say this, Dan. To me, when you listen to Ralph and you listen to Layton, this is proof of what I've been saying all along. UK has by far and away the best boxing fans in the world. If I had anybody that would stand by me through thick and thin, no matter what, like these guys stand behind their fighters, I would be the luckiest man in the world. They are the best boxing fans in the world. They are loyal. They travel all over the globe to see their fighters. Even when their fighters lose, they still stand behind them. Not many UK people shit on Anthony Joshua when he lost. All they did was say he'll be back. They're the best boxing fans in the world, and this is a prime example of why.
We're in it for the long haul. We're in it for the long haul.
That's a good point. I have to agree.
Today or tomorrow, it's the long haul. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead, Fight Doctor. Let me hear what you got, bro.
So, and from the way I see it, Eddie Hearn is so full of excrement that he ought to start a fertilizer business. And if he does so, I'm buying 1,000 shares. Okay. I was watching an interview this guy last night, and the gist of it was, so the interviewer asked Eddie Hearn about, well, you said one thing a few days ago, now you're saying something different. And his response was basically, the way I read his response is basically, don't take me seriously. So I don't get why anybody takes this guy seriously, okay? Because he ought to change his name to Mr. Broken Record, because it's the same story, but nothing ever changes. He's been promising the fight for, as Dan noticed, for 6 months now, and nothing has changed. It's still the same story. So
6 weeks, not 6 months. Come on, man.
6 weeks, whatever. Okay. The simple fact of the matter is,
I love Ralph. Ralph, you're the best.
6 weeks, 6 months, whatever. Look, whatever. At the end of the day, Mr. Broken Record Mr. Excrement has not delivered. Okay. And when is that WBO mandatory going to be called due? In a matter of days. So yep. I don't think that this fight is going to happen next. I've maintained that fight like the last month, 2 months, and there's no reason why I should change my mind. So yeah, it's not happening next. It's not.
Oh dear. I'll go back to the question Dan asked. What if it's down the line? Listen, if it's now or down the line, we'll take it. But it's going to be. It needs to be next. The WBO restrictions, it needs to be next, and I think it will be next. And
okay,
100% it'll be next, Raf.
We hope so, and I believe so. What B?
Okay.
Do you think it's next?
Do I think it's next?
Yeah. Don't get
honestly,
splinters, Beeb.
I don't think it's next.
Don't get splinters.
I don't think it's next.
Yeah, if you ask me,
And-
it looks bleak for him, man.
And
Why the negative, Beeb? I gotta ask you.
It
Why
hurts me.
Why the
It hurts-
negativity
it
from
hurts me to say it.
Why
You know
not?
what it's like? It's like having that girl that you're really good friends with, but you're not really attracted to her, right? But she's
That's
really
wrong.
attracted. But
That's
she's
horrible.
really attracted to
It's
you.
a horrible
And then she
situation.
asks, and then she says to you one day, "Hey, Beeb, I love you. I want to have a nice relationship with you." And you don't have the heart to tell her, "Hey, I just want to be friends."
It's horrible.
You don't have the heart to tell that girl, "I just want to be friends."
Horrible.
That's how I'm feeling right now. It pains me to have to say that I don't think this fight's going to happen. It pains me.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm gonna just be hopeful.
Right.
I'm gonna be hopeful. I hope it happens next, but just the way the logistics are with the COVID cases rising in Saudi Arabia, the travel restrictions, which they haven't yet worked out yet, the TV networks they haven't worked out yet. I mean, if they could get it all done within a few matter of days, all power to them. That'd be amazing. But usually that takes a little bit of time than usual to get all those logistics worked out. So I'm just pretty. It's a little doubtful that they can get it in July. I mean, maybe August, September would be more practical, but June, July seems a little bit too soon.
I'll tell you what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to fight one more time, and they're going to end up fighting probably in October or November.
That's fight.
That's what I think is going to happen.
Hold on a second, though. Can I introduce a little bit? Can I introduce something? Can I introduce the fact that each offer comes with a date, and once you accept the offer, you accept the date?
I get that, but the networks will have to sign off on it. They have a final say so on that, and along with other logistics involved, the promoters and the lawyers will have to look over it. So all that takes a little time for it to get to get finalized.
Hold on a second though. Would the TV people not being on the date?
They will be asked. They will be presented the date, and they will have to sign off on it. That's what I'm saying.
But here's the problem.
We know they haven't signed off on it yet.
Here's the problem, Ralph. Yeah. Offers are going to be presented to the fighters, but also offers have to be presented to the broadcaster as well.
Yeah.
We already know Sky is 100% on board with this.
That's what I'm saying.
We know that. But here's one dilemma that we have. And this is why I'm smart, because I'm the chess player, not the chess piece. I'm looking ahead. This is why I'm smart. Now think
I'm hot. This is why I'm hot.
Think about this. Is this fight going to be on ESPN pay-per-view, or is it going to be on DAZN? Because DAZN supposedly
ESPN pay-per-view. Bob said ESPN pay-per-view.
Wait though. Doesn't DAZN have first right of refusal for Anthony Joshua fights?
Yeah, but it's worldwide. It's in America. ESPN are going to show it, and then all around the world, DAZN's going to show it. What
if DAZN says we want to show it? Then what happens?
Hold on a second, Beeb. Are you suggesting that this hasn't been worked out yet?
Wait, hold on, guys.
Are you suggesting this hasn't been worked out yet?
I am suggesting it, but I'm not confirming it.
I find out.
Bob's already said it, B. Bob has actually said that it's going pay-per-view, ESPN. It's going around the world to DAZN, and it's going to Sky Sports, BT Sports in UK.
Wait. When did he say that? I missed that.
Bob has outlined.
When did he say that?
I reiterate what Layton has just said. Bob.
Wait, hold on, Robbie. Wait.
Hold on. Bob has stated how it's going to be rolled out. He's divvying up.
When did he say that? I just point me to that, and I'll look at it.
I saw the interview
on Barbershop
What
Conversations.
Barbershop Conversations. Okay.
Yes, it was. You posted it, Dan. You posted it.
Was it the recent interview or the interview prior?
The most recent
That's
one.
When he said it. No. Did he say that in that recent interview?
He said it in the recent interview. Yes, the most recent one.
I had it from the old one. The old one when he was first on it.
And
Barbershop Conversations, he said it.
And to be fair,
fair enough. I missed it. Great.
And to be fair, I assumed that would be the structure, that it would be on ESPN pay-per-view, it would be on Sky pay-per-view, and then the rest of the world would have to watch it on DAZN. I assumed that would be the case. but I wasn't 100% sure with that.
You know now, and that's a very important piece of information.
But to Beeb's point, though,
that's
to Beeb's point, was no one the right to refusal, though.
It's an
But to Beeb's point, Rob. But to Beeb's point, was the zone wants the right to refusal with Anthony Joshua. That will further complicate the situation with ESPN. So that could come into play.
How does that complicate situations with ESPN when the structure's already laid out?
Don't.
How does it complicate anything when the structure's already laid out?
Joshua's main Sky Sports.
Well, Dan, to Ralph's point, okay, that could have already been worked out, and the zone probably, I would allege, and again, I don't know this factually, but I would strongly allege that that these people, suppose, that's even a better word. Thank you for the correction. I would suppose that the zone has already been contacted and it's already been worked out and it's already been agreed upon. That's
fair enough. That's a fair point.
I would assume that.
Bob Arum on Barbershop Conversations on the post that you posted, Dan, clarified the structure of the TV deal.
Yeah, fair enough. But this is the same guy who said the arbitration with Wilder and Fury was over weeks ago. And then he come out and said, "Oh, we're still in arbitration. We won't get a decision maybe till May."
I guess
I can only tell you what the guy said, Dan. I can only tell you what the guy said.
I know exactly. He says one thing, and then next he says another thing. He's another guy who does the same thing.
I guess at the end of the day, Dan and I come from a world where we accept the fact that we have to take what these promoters say with a grain of salt, because everybody misleads, everybody exaggerates, everybody switches up their story, and that's a promoter's job. He's there to sell a fight, and he'll do whatever he has to sell a fight.
Me and Layton aren't naive to anything, my friend. We're not naive to anything.
I hope not.
So you're talking about you and Dan. You and Dan come from the old school back in the
Eddie Hearn.
1940s. Eddie Hearn had to walk 10 miles to school and 15 miles back. Listen,
Eddie Hearn can tell you.
Naive here.
Eddie Hearn can tell you that pig's flying, and you'll believe it. I think.
Who?
You.
No.
You guys have never.
Is you crazy, B?
Eddie Hearn has told you for the past 6 weeks that the fight is close to being done.
You on them gummy bears? You on them funny gummy bears?
Never.
Rappy. But let's be honest. Ern has been saying this for months. This fight's close to done. He's been saying it for months.
And you've just accepted it.
Hold on a second.
And you've just accepted
it. You don't know what's in the background. He could be getting off with him without you knowing.
Half of your face is covered by your name. I'm just telling you. But anyway.
There you go.
So thank you. That's a bit more respectable. Don't slap your feet.
I don't want to deprive the honey dips of this beautiful face.
Okay. So we listen, Tyson Fury has come out. That's what I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for Fury to come out and say the offer is in my lap, and it's not a good offer. It is a great offer. We have the video evidence of Tyson Fury saying that. They're going to review it on Sunday. Sunday is today. He said it 2 days ago. Sunday is today. They're going to review it. They're going to get back with Eddie. But what we know is
but also the key where he said hopefully we could come to the conclusion.
Let me finish the sentence. Hopefully we can. I'm almost there now.
All right, get there, bro. Get there.
Order. So he said that he's going to get back to Eddie, and boom. We by the end of the week, myself, Layton Evelyn, are confident, 85% confident that by the end of the week, we will have an announcement that the fight is essentially made. All the signatures that are required will be obtained, and we're going to have some real good news. And look who we got here.
Well, fair enough. I hope you're right on this, Rafi. I really hope you do.
Optimism, Dan.
Yeah, I really hope you're right.
Let's bring some more reality. Let's bring some more reality.
You all come from
Maestro. Go ahead, Maestro. Emil Carr. We got New York's. We got Toronto's finest in the house. Kick it, Maestro.
There you go, fam. From the 6 all the way to the NYC, the borough of the Bronx, New York. So listen, I gotta say this. I don't really believe any of these motherfucking promoters anymore because they're always contradicting themselves, not even just each other, themselves. And they've been just stringing us along. And I get it. It's very good marketing because you know what happens? Every time one of them says something about this fight, it comes into my Google News feed in the morning when I'm in the bathroom. All right. It shows up on a Reddit page, right? We all discuss it on our shows. And what's the result of that? We're keeping the fight alive. We're boosting the promotion. We're helping Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum extend the period within which they can continue to ask people to up their offers, which is what I think is actually going on. Because if the money that they wanted was already there, this fight would have already been announced. This is being drawn along because they want us to help them, okay, get the biggest payout possible. And until it happens, I don't really believe what anybody's saying until this thing is announced. Call me crazy.
Well, to support what you're saying, the more people talk about it and the longer that they talk about it, the bigger the fight becomes. Hence Mayweather Pacquiao. So all I'm saying is, let's not, we're all obviously we're going to continue to talk about it, but let's be realistic about the conversation. That's all.
Yeah.
There is a time constraint. There is a time constraint with the WBO insisting that the fight gets made ASAP. And I think due to that time constraint, it's not as free and as loose as some of you guys seem to be suggesting.
I know nothing. I know nothing. That's
I don't know either, but given that interview that Paco Ferro did the other day, man, that was Friday, man. There's an indication they're going to call that mandatory very soon, and don't be surprised if they call it this week coming up.
You know what I think about that?
That's why the news has to come out. That's why the confirmation needs to be had.
But Ralph, this is what I don't like. I don't, and I'm going to say I just don't think it's fair. If we are being skeptical of the information that's being given to us, and if we're being frustrated about being strung along, and if we point out that we think that this is all just to promote the fight, and if we all, if we point out the fact that we think that people are being manipulated in order to make this fight bigger, then why does that mean we don't want the fight to happen? How does that translate into that? That's what I don't understand.
I don't understand the question. I don't understand the question.
Well, I've been accused of not wanting this fight to happen because I've been skeptical of it happening next. Is that fair to accuse me of that? That's all I'm asking. Do you think I don't want this fight to happen? Do you honestly believe that?
No, you want the fight to happen. We all do. We all want the fight to happen.
Do you really believe that I don't want this fight to happen, honestly?
There seems to be a hindrance. There seems to be a reluctance from the USA, and I think it's down to
Rafi. But the point is, don't lump us into that crap, man. Don't generalize into that, man. I understand that, but I'm just telling you, don't generalize me and B with the other people who don't want to fight.
Ralph,
we ain't never said that.
Heard my sentence. How do you know?
Ralph,
I'm saying
this is no hard feelings, Ralph.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put you on the stand right now.
Yo, bro, okay? You come hard because I come hard back.
Okay, but this is what I'm gonna ask you, and I'm gonna accept whatever you say, whether it hurts or not.
All right.
I don't care. I'll take the ugly truth over the pretty lie.
Yeah, man.
Do you in your heart honestly believe that I don't want this fight to happen? Yes or no?
Right. I want to answer it broader than that.
Fair enough. Answer it the way you want. Answer it the way you want.
I say that I feel an energy from the USA that is no, it can't happen. No, it won't happen. No, it's not going to happen now. It might happen down the line. That is the energy that I'm picking up, a large chunk of which is coming from the USA. Now,
Rafi, that's true. That's true.
My hypothesis is that I think that it's from it stems from Wilder.
Don't say it.
Hold on. It stems from. I'm always gonna say, bro. Come on,
Wilder fanboys.
It stems from Wilder. Wilder is the root of this. I think the Wilder fans don't want it to happen, but I can't understand how there's so many people who are saying it's not going to happen. I think it stems from Wilder. I think that's affected the thinking of some people, and reasonably so. The arbitration, we're not 1,000% sure what the situation is. Is it really over? Is it just a question of paying off Wilder to just get the hell on up out of here? You ain't getting the third fight, not now anyway, because I think Fury will fight him down the line. So there will be a third fight somewhere down the line. So I'm wondering if it stems from that, which would not be unreasonable. If people are thinking, if certain Americans are thinking the fight's not going to happen, this undisputed fight's not going to happen next because there is outstanding litigation which can prevent it from happening. If that is the case, then it would be reasonable for such a person who had that stance to say it's not going to happen next because of factor X, Y, Z relating to the Wilder case. Is it really over? We don't believe it's over, therefore the fight's not going to happen next. If that is the case, then that is reasonable for such an individual to say, I don't think the fight's going to happen next because I don't think the Wilder situation is over.
That wasn't the question. The question is, do you think I don't want it to happen? Not that I don't think it's going to happen. Do you think in my heart that I do not want to see or watch this fight? Yes or no? That's all. If you believe, if you think it, say it. And
I don't know. I'm confused. And I don't know. I don't know what the hindrance is.
Can I bond your question?
All I'm going to tell you is this.
From America who think it's not going to happen. There's a big split. I don't know why.
Okay. All I'm going to tell you is this. All I'm going to tell you is this. Because I'm jaded from the past of being here before and getting my hopes up high, only to have my hopes shattered. Because I feel that way, doesn't mean that I don't want the fight to happen. I want this fight to happen more than anything. This would be my dream. This would be the one positive thing in 2 years of just all this bullshit we had to deal with. 2 years of the worst years of our lives with COVID. This would be the one bright spot to take us away from all that pain and anguish because of COVID. So why would I not want this?
But you do agree that there seems to be sorry, I'm just going to be real quick.
I agree 110% with what you just said. But I don't think, I would not lump myself in with that.
It does not apply to Joe. I've been on the Leave It in the Ring roundtable Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, plug right there, with Joe for months now. And I can tell you that there was no one more positive than Joe, other than maybe myself, about Tyson Fury finally taking on Anthony Joshua than Joe. Joe was gung-ho, but at the end of the day, like all of us, when it's week after week of an announcement is about to come, you start to get skeptical. You know, right. Joe's got a skeptical mind just like I do, and we're two dudes that base things off of evidence. We're both evidence-based guys, and the evidence leads you to start being skeptical about whether or not these promoters are telling the truth.
Right. Can I elaborate on that point a little bit?
Go ahead,
look. Yeah, Rafi, this is coming from two Americans, Beeb and myself. And Maestro, I think you're from Canada. Am I right? Are you from New York or Canada?
No, he's from New York. He's from New York.
Okay, cool. 3 Americans. We all agree the fight will happen. We all want it to happen. Now, the question I don't get is, if, let's say I myself, I can only speak for me. Why is it that I have to be negative when I say the fight's going to happen later this year rather than the summer? How am I being negative when I say that?
Because it is more likely to happen. It is more likely to happen with what we know. It is more likely to happen now with the WBO about to imminently announce their mandatory. It is more likely in terms of structure to happen now than later.
Okay, there you go. You brought up the WBO.
If it happens later, it's probably not even for undisputed. So in a sense, you can't. In a sense, you can say it can't happen later. In a sense.
Well, based off the empirical evidence, right there, the WBO more than likely will call that mandatory this week.
So if it happens later, it's not undisputed.
Okay, then why? I don't get why is it being perceived negative when I say that more likely the fight's going to happen in the fall, based off the logistics and based off the evidence that we're gathering at this point.
It all comes down to this: you're either a blue pill person or you're a red pill person. Do you want do you want the pretty lie or you want the ugly truth?
Well, I'm saying that undisputed can't even happen later this year.
Let me ask you a question.
There's a small window for undisputed to happen. So if somebody's telling me undisputed is going to happen later in the year, I say it can't happen later in the year.
I get that, but that doesn't mean we're negative. We're just telling you the fight will happen, but the date that we will all wish it happened, that at this point it just seems a little bit not possible based off the circumstances.
What we're forgetting too, guys, what we're also forgetting too is that from the very beginning, this was presented as a 2-fight deal, and from the very beginning, boxing fans like us were being sold on the idea that we'd get a spring fight and then a fall rematch. And the longer and longer that it takes for this fight to happen or be announced officially, the smaller and smaller that outcome becomes a realistic outcome.
You mean the window?
Yeah, the window of us getting 2 fights this year.
From a logistics standpoint, and again, using data, history, and past experiences, a fight of this magnitude is going to take longer than a month and a half to throw together.
Throw together. Come on, throw together. They've been working on this thing for a while now, man. They're at the finish line, man. You've heard it from Tyson Fury himself, man. He's got the offers. They're in his
agreed
lap.
a year ago, B. A year.
It's been more than it's not nothing being thrown together.
What did they agree to a year ago? Without a date and a venue and a location.
Split.
Okay, they agreed. They agreed that when and if they fight,
things have been going on behind the scenes.
That's one portion of an agreement. Now, again, I think the UK fans are really oversimplifying the complexity of a fight of this magnitude being thrown together, being put together.
I don't think that at all. I think we're fully aware. We're equally aware as you the complexity of such an endeavor. And we're equally aware as you the complexity of the endeavor.
How often have you seen a fight of this magnitude signed in April? Okay, so then you have May and June, basically. So they're only going to have like 2 months to promote this fight, get all the travel arrangements and stuff. Like usually a fight of this magnitude takes about 6 to 8 months to
So you're saying you think Eddie can't do it? You're saying you think Eddie can't do it?
We're in a pandemic.
I don't even think Jesus Christ could come off the cross and do this.
Okay. So now we're getting somewhere. Now you think that there just ain't enough time.
Well, exactly. Look, let me just say this.
I don't think the logistics add up here.
Okay.
To elaborate on Beeb's point further, it's not that we're not saying Eddie can't do it. We know he can do it, but at the same time, you guys have to understand there's some things that's going to be out of his control, which is COVID.
He can't do
it. Hold up. There's some things he can't do that's out of his that's not in his control. You got the COVID cases rising in that Middle East region that I specified earlier. That's one. Number two, the traveling arrangements that has to be worked out. That's two. I mean, he could probably control that situation for the most part, but with COVID and the climate,
let's go back to that interview. I'm sorry, I'm gonna go back.
I cannot believe you guys are questioning Eddie's ability.
Oh my God!
We're not again. We're not
getting
the show.
Now you're turning it into like us criticizing Eddie Hearn.
I can't believe that you
not what it is.
Think that Eddie Hearn. Management, AJ's management, 258 management. I can't believe that you fellas can't believe that they can get it done.
We never said they can't get it done. Hold up here. I'm telling you is that
not in the time frame presented.
Yeah, exactly. What I'm telling you is that you have COVID cases rising in Saudi Arabia. That's going to continue to climb. The third wave is coming in around that same time, and you have the hot climate you have to worry about. So those are the things that could be out of Hearn's control.
Quote,
that's not his fault.
This is an Eddie Hearn quote. Listen to this now. This is the ugly lie that this is the ugly truth that the pretty lie people don't. This is the red pill people. This is what we're reading. This is Eddie Hearn's quote in that interview yesterday. We're in the middle of a global pandemic. It's difficult to secure the logistics. It's now, not at the end of the year. It happens this summer. We may not get this opportunity. Never ideal to make a sporting event like this in the middle of a global pandemic. So even he is saying that this pandemic is presenting challenges to get this fight done. So he's telling you it's difficult to secure the logistics, which is my sentiments exactly. We have never been here before. Not just Eddie Hearn. The world has never been here before.
My opening argument addressed the difficulty of making such an endeavor in such economic.
Well, this isn't a knock on Hearn. This is just the reality of these circumstances.
Yeah, my opening argument outlined the difficulty in making such a fight in such a economic environment. So I am more than fully aware. Eddie is more than fully aware, and I believe that they have the capabilities alongside AJ's management, 258 management. I believe that Eddie and his people can pull this logistical tightrope walk off. I believe they can do it. You don't believe it. What you mean now? What do you mean now? What do you mean now? Get the people to do the job. You know what they need to do. Everybody's got their job. They do their job.
Yeah, wait, that's positivity. I have to say one thing. I admire that optimism from you, Rafi.
They're the best fans in the world, Dan. For a
exactly, you guys are the best fans in the boxing fans in the world.
Do you admire Eddie Hearn's optimism?
Well, we do, but here's the thing, though. COVID doesn't care. Wait, hold on. Can I say something?
Eddie Hearn's a salesman.
I do and I don't. I do and I don't, and I'll tell you why. Because I don't like when someone puts out a false hope. When someone is telling you,
do you know it to be a false hope, though, Beeb? Do you know it to be a? If it happens, it wasn't a false hope. Then was it?
No.
Okay. No, but here's the thing. Can I say something real quickly, though? Here's the thing, though. COVID doesn't care who's optimistic or pessimistic. That's the thing that needs to be looked at very closely now. So let's just hope that COVID doesn't derail this. But at the same time, that's something we cannot ignore. That's a serious issue right now, and Hearns even admit that that's a very serious issue.
Timothy Tommins in the chat says, "Not a knock on Hearn. That's all the American panel are doing." Again, this is what it is. Like when you operate mentally with a zero-sum game, meaning it's either someone's fault, someone has to be blamed, and someone has to be right and someone has to be wrong. This is not a right or wrong situation. Again, we're dealing with a pandemic. There's no right or wrong here. This is just the way it is. You think I'm blaming Eddie Hearn for the pandemic? It's not his fault.
Can I jump in here, Joe?
It has nothing to do with Eddie Hearn being wrong or right, or Tyson Fury being wrong or right. And I'll keep repeating it. If you choose to have cognitive dissonance and block it out, I can't help you. That's a therapy session. I'm not qualified to provide. That's a therapy session that I'm not qualified to provide for you. I can't fix your cognitive dissonance. All I can tell you is this. It's not Eddie Hearn's fault. The problem is if he's telling people that it's almost done and it's going to be close and this and that, I think he's being overly optimistic. I think he should hold off until he has it done. Instead of telling people it's close for 6 weeks and only to have it not be done. Stop leading people along. That's all.
Yeah, Joe, I just want to say this too. Like, look, for all of the people out there in the UK, my favorite fighter growing up was Lennox Lewis. And Lennox Lewis characterized himself as a global person. I live in the United States of America, but I am not a quote unquote American fight fan. I am a world boxing fan. I like all boxing. I like fighters from all over the world. You'll hear me talk as much about taking promotions in Japan as you'll hear me talk about Bob Arum or these other dudes. I follow all boxing. That's number one. But Joe's right. You've got these religions here in the United States that were started in the 1800s, and they still exist today. I don't want to insult anybody, so I'm not going to mention the specific ones. But they all started out by promising people the second coming of Christ. And people would sell all their assets. They'd move to these remote places in upstate New York and other spots and be promised that Jesus was going to come on a certain day. And time after time again, Jesus never came. What did those people lack? They lacked skepticism. Skepticism is healthy. I don't have to jump on here and just agree that what Bob Arum says or what Eddie Hearn says is the gospel. These guys are salesmen. They're doing their job. They're promoting the fight. They're keeping the fight alive. But to say that Bob Arum says this, so it must be true when Eddie Hearn says that, so I got to listen to what he says. No, we're here to be analysts and pundits on YouTube and to approach things with skepticism. And I think that's all we're doing. And we're here in the United States, but that's all we're doing. It's got nothing to do with US or UK or anything like that.
Well, I think
here's the thing. If it wasn't for COVID, I would have zero skepticism of this fight happening. But my whole thing is the wild card here is COVID. Because of the situation that we're in right now, I think it provides a lot of stumbling blocks for a fight of this magnitude. That's why if you look at this past year, once boxing started opening up again, the biggest fight that we've had was Lomachenko-Lopez, which was a good fight, but it wasn't a mainstream fight like this. So there's a reason why we haven't had a fight of this magnitude yet, and that's because of COVID. Because the amount of money that the fighters would require and that they deserve for a fight of this magnitude is very hard to come up with without a live gate, without a backer willing to take the risks to put it on. And because of COVID, having all of the situation, Hearn himself said, with the testing, with the traveling and all of this and that. So I'm being accused of bashing Hearn. No, I'm not. I'm talking about COVID. It's not, if I'm telling you it's not Hearn's fault and he shouldn't be blamed for COVID, it's like this. If you have a doctor,
are you guys going to be eating humble pie?
I'd love to be eating humble pie.
I'll eat humble pie.
At the end of the week, are you prepared? Are you
prepared
for a big
serving? I want you to say, Beeb, I told you so.
Yeah,
that's what I want. I want it.
Rafi, let me tell you something. I hope that I'm 100% wrong. I really hope I am.
Are you prepared to eat a family size?
Absolutely. You serve me that humble pie, and I'll gladly eat it, bro.
You can eat that with ice cream.
Yes, give me some butter pecan ice cream with that. I'll be good.
That would be like the doctor treating a cancer patient, right? Terminally ill cancer patient dying. Okay, that doctor is doing everything he can to keep that cancer patient alive. So the patient dies. It's not the doctor's fault. He's doing everything he can to keep the patient alive. So by saying, this patient's going to die because he got terminal cancer, that's not saying the doctor sucks. That's just saying that the doctor can't save this terminally ill patient because this terminally ill patient is at a point where he or she cannot be saved. That doesn't mean you're saying the doctor sucks. So you guys are framing it like people are framing it in the UK that if we're skeptical, that means we saying Hearn sucks at his job. That means that we're saying we don't want the fight. No. My stance is this. I'm going to say it and I'll repeat it. I'll put it on a recording and I'll keep playing it until people are tired of hearing it. I do not think this fight is going to happen for one reason and one reason only. COVID-19. That's it. It's not anybody's fault. Nobody's fault.
Joe, there's another reason that I don't know if you discussed this before I got on that I want to give too. But before that, Raphael, I will eat humble pie. And I'm a plant-based eater, and that pie is going to be filled with crow. And I'll even have ice cream on the side. I would be happy to be wrong about this. That's number one. Number two, what I want to say is that a lot of people in the UK may not realize this, but Ruiz versus Joshua, the second fight that took place out there in the dunes where they got that big site fee.
Yeah.
That was not a pay-per-view fight in the United States. And for a fight to generate the massive amount of revenue that people wanted to generate in the United States, it cannot be on pay-per-view and take place at the time of day that Ruiz versus Joshua 2 did. Ruiz versus Joshua 2 was a fight on DAZN. From what I've been hearing, I mean, they want this to be a pay-per-view fight. I mean, that's how they're going to really maximize revenue here in the United States with the.
I think so.
With,
Bob Arum talked about it being a pay-per-view.
Yes, with the massive, a population here that buys fights at these fucking ridiculous $90 per event pay-per-view prices. I mean, they milk people out here for literally everything they've got, right? Meanwhile, the same fights are on in Mexico, which I go to a lot on vacay with my wife. These are on free TV in Mexico, right? They're on DAZN for 199 euros across the EU, and in the UK now on DAZN for what, £1.99, right? Is that what they're charging you out there?
Yeah, 199. Yeah,
right, exactly. So to make up for that revenue, they got to put this shit on pay-per-view here in the United States. And that ain't flying at 3 p.m. Eastern in the afternoon. Joe, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, but you see, Joe, just give me 10 seconds, please.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying, Maestro. But so you have the intellect to understand that, but then you also have the intellect to say, well, what time would it need to be on to be a pay-per-view over here? You have the intellect to make that adjustment. And
yeah. And
they have the intellect to make that adjustment too. Bob Arum has the intellect to make that adjustment too, Maestro.
But Ralph, here's a problem too. You guys are the best fight fans in the world. There's been times when I've done shows and you've been on my show at 5 a.m. because you guys are the best fight fans in the world. We are actually probably the worst fight fans in the world because we wouldn't do it. I'm a loser, so I will. But there's not a lot of losers like me in America. So the problem is this, though, Ralph. Fair play to Joshua Ruiz too, but it wasn't the highest grossing fight of that year. The highest grossing fight of that year was actually Wilder Fury 2.
So what's the problem here?
What I'm trying to say is, for this fight to generate what it's supposed to generate,
it's have to be at a different time.
It's going to be difficult under these conditions, and to ask fighters and people involved in this fight. This is another problem, as Emil Carr had alluded to. This is another problem with the situation with COVID for this fight to generate what it's supposed to generate, and the fighters to get paid what they're supposed to get paid, and everyone involved in the fight to be compensated the way they're supposed to be compensated. This is not the ideal conditions for a fight of this magnitude to take place. And I think that's what Maestro or Emil Carr was trying to say. So,
but we know it's not ideal, and we accept that it's not ideal.
So that is going to be an obstacle. That is another obstacle because of COVID.
Yeah, and we know it's not. But we know these are not the ideal situations. But we also know that we have a limited window of time. We have a limited time frame within which to operate. Well, you accept that. You accept the circumstances, and you proceed. In the knowledge of that.
So what happens? Well, isn't Usyk fighting
Usyk's fighting Joe? Well, Usyk should be
Joe Joyce. He's fighting Joe Joyce next. Am I wrong in saying that?
Should be. They're in negotiations. They're waiting. They're waiting on this fight to be confirmed before they go ahead.
So what you're saying is, if this fight doesn't happen now and Usyk and Joe Joyce fight, then the winner of Usyk Joe Joyce is going to be a mandatory for Joshua, and that would eliminate
it being a fight for undisputed.
It would eliminate. Well, that also would eliminate the prospect of a fight or the potential of a fight happening in the fall, because then Joshua would not be able to fight Fury in the fall.
No. If they do the first fight, then fine. The path is clear.
No. What I'm saying is, if they don't do the first fight, and they don't have a deal in place, then Joshua will have to fight the winner of Joyce Usyk in the fall.
In the fall. Yeah. So undisputed can only happen if it gets signed at the end of this week.
All right. There's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts about this whole thing, Ralph, and you're still 100% on board with it, man. I don't know.
Hold on. I'm not saying that it's 100% going to be sure at the end of the week. I'm saying 85. I'm just optimistic.
All right.
I didn't say 100%.
Well,
I'm optimistic.
If I go to, I'm sorry, Fight Doctor. If I go to a doctor's office and he says, "Yeah, you're gonna have 85% of survival,"
yeah,
that 15% is gonna keep me awake at night. That's all I'm saying.
It can do.
I'm optimistic that Eddie Hearn will start a fertilizer business in the next 30 days.
You said you'd invest. You said you'd invest. So
as much excrement as he's full of, I think it would be an excellent investment.
That's an expression of confidence because you said you'd invest in him. Boom.
If
investing in Eddie Hearn's excrement, yeah, I would invest in that because he has so much. Okay, and if he starts a fertilizer business, we're all going to get rich. All right.
Again, these people in the chat want to keep using the word negative. No, the appropriate term is reality.
No, you see, Beeb, let's be fair.
We have reality.
Beeb, let's be fair.
COVID is a problem. COVID is a big obstacle for this fight. Yes or no?
Beeb, you can say these are the problems, or you can say this is how we're going to navigate the problems. You guys are saying these are the problems. I'm saying this is how we navigate the problems.
Yeah, can I just come up with what Beeb just said? Now, Beeb says that COVID is a problem.
Let me just finish my sentence, though, Fight Doctor, please. So we're both looking at the same picture, and we're coming up with a different interpretation of the picture.
Right. Fair enough.
So Beeb says that COVID is a problem, and I would agree, but I would add that the real problem is not so much COVID as it is money. Money is the problem. And again, to quote Lennox Lewis, money solves all problems. And from what I gauge, my gauge is telling me that money is the issue here and is not enough.
Because and again, the reason why I would venture to say that is because there's not enough money because of COVID. Because you can't put the audience in the you can't have the live gate that you would want. And I'm sure if we didn't have COVID, Vegas would outbid everybody here. Because the amount of money that they could charge for tickets in Vegas and the amount of money that Vegas puts up for site fees, again, we have to look at data. The highest grossing fights of all time have all been in Vegas, majority of them. There's a reason for that. So again, Fight Doctor, I agree with you with the money, but I think the money problem is a result of COVID.
Vegas has that brand new NFL stadium too that they've been trying to use, but
they got that Allegiant.
Can't do it right now.
Look what they could do. How much money could this fight generate if this fight was in Vegas at Allegiant Stadium? It would be insane. It would be insane. There's nothing. Again, the highest grossing fights of all time, none of them have been in Saudi.
Mayweather Pacquiao.
That's no knock on Saudi. I'm just saying.
Why is the money? Why is the money concerning everyone all of a sudden?
Because the money is money. Because money is the main reason why fights happen and why they don't. Once again, that's the ugly truth. I know all box. Excuse me for 1 minute, Milka. I know all boxing fans love to come on here and say, why do you talk about the money? Why do you talk about the money? Because money is the be all end all. And the major deciding factor on whether or not these fights happen. People do not fight for hopes and dreams. People say they fight for honor, but again, honor costs money. That's it.
Yeah, it's not amateur boxing. Unfortunately,
Tyson said he's got great toughers in his lap.
And at the end of the day, this is the truth across all sports. Why was the FIFA World Cup allotted to a tyrannical, very restrictive Mideast monarchy regime? Guess what? It was money. I mean,
Tyson says he's got great offers in his lap. Money is not a problem.
I hope you're right.
Okay, I hope you're right too.
So that's another hurdle. That's another hurdle.
No, wait, no. Listen,
that's another hurdle we've navigated differently.
That's nonsense.
Another hurdle we've navigated differently. We've got 2 points of view on the money issue.
Let's see if those offers are delivered.
One point of view.
I could tell you right now that I'm ready to PayPal you 10 G's. I have
I appreciate that.
Until you see it.
I'll be looking. I got my phone in my hand. I
may have to buy. I may want to buy Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio for $100,000 one day. You never know.
Hey, everything is to go well.
You could still be the CEO. I mean,
I could be the CEO, so it's negotiable. It'll be a bit more than that, though. A couple of years' time, you got to get in early. Anyway,
right, half million.
So once again, we've just demonstrated how we've both come to the same hurdle, and we've navigated it differently. You guys have said, "Oh, money's a problem. Money can stop it. Money's an issue." I came to the same hurdle you did, and I navigated it differently. So once again, we're both looking at the same picture. We're interpreting it differently. We're looking at the same picture for different interpretations.
Ralph, how many times are you going to touch that stove and burn your hand on the hot iron? You can't keep touching the stove.
Keep burning.
We've been here before. Remember these offers from Dubai? Oh, so and so's gonna made offers. Again, how many of these offers?
There were joke things that came on the tail of Joshua Ruiz. They were joke. Oh, we're gonna go to Saudi next year. They're gonna give us lots of money.
Again, these are offers. What is an offer? An offer is just that. It's an offer.
These are offers, but come on, give Eddie a bit more credit than that.
It's come not on, about. He's got
the bank work.
Again, you're turning this into an Eddie Hearn thing. It's a pandemic thing, bro. It's a pandemic. It's not Eddie Hearn.
I'm gonna jump off for a second.
These guys could sit there and say, "Oh, no, we're prepared to do this, that, and the third." But again, they can get an uprising in COVID. Anything could happen. The unpredictability with COVID is still out there. So for anyone to make a commitment now, it could change. It could change within weeks. It could change within months. What if the Saudi government says, "Okay, we've decided that we're going to put a travel ban on because we had another spike in cases." Anything could happen. That's all I'm saying. I'm just dealing with reality.
Look, an offer is an offer. I put in an offer on an apartment. I then had to come up with the money to back that offer. There was a period where I was struggling to do that due to some delays. Thankfully, Joe Habib tossed me the lifesaver of force majeure, got my ass out of that situation.
There's also another thing. There's also another weapon. There's also another weapon I'm going to give you. What's called an unconscionable contract too. meaning a contract presented to you under duress that's grossly one-sided towards one side. That's another weapon you have in your holster.
I'm making that a note of that, Joe. Thank you very much.
Unconscionable contract. But yeah, I mean, again, I think we have to be realistic about where the situation we're in right now. And if we're being told that we're almost done for 6 weeks, obviously Beeb is not looking for the negative. Again, if you think COVID has been positive, then I must be missing something, Louis George or Louis Grange, whatever your name is. If you think COVID has not been a problem, if you're going to make light of all the people that have died and all the people that have lost jobs and all the families that have lost their livelihood because of COVID, if you want to sit there and you want to downplay all that and you want me to lie about all that, then you've come to the wrong channel. You've come to the wrong channel. If you're going to sit there and say that COVID has not destroyed people's lives, you're going to sit there and say that COVID has not affected not only boxing, but the world in entirety, then you are a naive person, my friend, and you are just choosing to just ignore what's going on around you. You have no self-awareness. Again, I deal with reality. People die every day. Does that mean, by me saying it, does that mean I'm being negative? No, I'm telling the truth. That doesn't mean I'm happy about it. I feel bad that COVID has had this impact on not only boxing but all sports. You think I'm happy with COVID right now? You think that I'm happy with this? I don't understand. Like, you guys must think that I just sit around all day and I just wallow in misery, looking for all the bad things to dwell upon in life. I'm just being realistic. That's all. Again, you have to make the decision. Do you want the pretty lie or the ugly truth? I'm a red pill person. If I go into a doctor's office and he tells me I got good news for you and I got bad news, I want to hear the bad news first. That's just the type of person I am. I'm a skeptic, and I always have been, and I always will be. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Well, I look at the people working on the job.
All right.
You know, you look at the team. You look at the team. Any job you get, you look at the team. You have good, strong teams. You have weak teams. You look at this team. You say, no, I don't have confidence in that team. You look over yonder. You see another team. You say, yeah, I've seen them perform before. They're good. I got trust in them. I think it's a task. It's a difficult task, but I put my money on them pulling it off. Me, we're both looking at the same picture. We both have different opinions of the outcome. Me, yeah. I'm putting money on team Hearn 253, 258, whatever it is, management. I see the same picture you do. We're both looking at the same picture, and we have different perspectives.
Anyone that's saying that COVID is not an excuse for this fight not to happen, again, you're lying to yourself. If there is a travel ban and there is restrictions on attendance, then it will affect the revenue of the fight. And if the fight is not allowed or not able to or not put in a position to generate the revenue that it can generate, then that will be an obstacle for the fight. So we have to be. Am I crazy? Am I in bizarro world right now? Is this the Flashpoint paradox? Am I in another dimension? Am I the only person that can see COVID and experience COVID and nobody else around me can? I don't understand. Like, people have died. Is this all just an imagination that I've witnessed this past year? What am I missing here? Like, okay. I don't understand. What am I missing here? COVID is not a problem in the world right now. COVID is not an issue. We're walking around wearing masks. We're told we have to stay 6 feet away from each other. We're told that only a specific amount of people can go into a specific amount of place. We have to spray down and sanitize everything we touch. Again, am I missing something? Tell me if I'm missing something here.
Well, let me elaborate on that, Beeb. I know this is directed to Grievous.
Thank you, D-Style.
Yeah. Hey, look, Grievous. I saw that comment, but if you really say that, then maybe you should tell Eddie Hearn that, because he himself said this is the reason why this fight's stalling is because of COVID restrictions. So you might want to, just kind of stop. I'm not no knock at you, man. But the thing is, you have to be practical here. This is a real situation. This is not imaginary. This is a real situation, and this is one of the reasons why there are certain revenue streams are being blocked right now because of this pandemic. Eddie Hearn said it himself. He said this yesterday. A couple days ago. He said it himself.
Dan, do you want to hear the quote again?
I can definitely hear the quote again. Yeah, let's go ahead and hear the quote again.
We are in the middle of a global pandemic. It's difficult to secure the logistics. It's now, not at the end of the year. It happens this summer. We may not get this opportunity again. Never ideal to make a sporting event like this in the middle of a global pandemic. And then he even went as far as saying a couple of days ago, John Fury is right. We are in a difficult situation. He said that himself. Okay? So if this man is admitting to you that COVID is a challenge here to getting this fight done.
COVID is a challenge to getting the fight done. But in spite of that, in the laps of Tyson Fury and, of course, Anthony Joshua sits, by Tyson Fury's own words, some great offers. And so in spite of the difficulties, we're forging ahead. We're moving along. all being well, we're going to have an announcement confirming a date and venue this coming week.
I offer Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio.
Wait, what happens to Sunday?
I'm going to make an offer. I'm going to make an offer to Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio next year. I'm prepared to pay you $500,000 to buy your channel.
I will listen.
That's an offer.
I will listen. I will listen. I'm open to that.
I hope you don't go out. I hope you don't go out.
There's certain stipulations.
I hope you don't go out. I hope, based on my offer,
yeah.
I hope you don't go out and buy a Lamborghini and a mansion.
No. I'm going to need to see. I'm going to need to see
proof of funds, right? Proof of funds.
I'm going to need to see proof of funds. Beeb, in closing, because I have to get the hell.
I'll let you go. I'll let you go, man. It's been a long time, and I appreciate you spending the time with us. It's good to hear your perspective as always.
In closing, what I'd like to say is this: there's different teams with different capabilities. You look at Team Hearn. You look at the people around him who are dealing with this, and I say I have confidence in that team to pull this thing off. And later on in this week, I am optimistic that we're going to hear date and venue. And I'm expecting you, Beeb, you, Dan the Man, you, the Fight Doctor. The Maestro's already said he's down. He's down with the program. I'm expecting you all to consume American size, American family size, American pie, American pie with the.
We gotta go to
choice.
I gotta go to Golden Corral with the obese people in Florida and these other places, and
that's
just
the
consume.
kind of pie that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about no individual little, pie in the little tin foil. I'm talking about a real American.
Before I give Fight Doctor the final word here, I'm gonna end it on this. Eddie Hearn, you have my full support. I'm putting all my faith behind you, putting all my hope behind you. But I, like you, remain cautiously optimistic. Like you said yesterday, you're cautiously optimistic. I as well will be cautiously optimistic. So I am rooting for you, Eddie Hearn. Okay? But I am still aware that COVID is out there and a problem. And I think it's going to be a challenge overcoming that. And I hope you're able to do that. Fight Doctor, you got the last word before we head out of here.
And I just want to come off of that and say, Eddie Hearn, I fully support your new endeavor, your manure business. I'm buying 1,000 shares, and I'm looking forward to collecting on those dividends when your new manure business, when your new fertilizer business takes off the ground.
Yeah, and I have to say this. I did have COVID. I was asked in the chat if I had COVID. Yes. I had a family member close to me that had COVID that was hospitalized. So I know how serious COVID is. I was very scared for my family member. And there was times when I was really worried and I thought that things were not going to go so well, but they ended up ultimately turning out well. So that's why I don't underestimate this disease. That's all I'm saying. So this isn't a knock on Eddie Hearn at all. This is not me wishing bad upon Eddie Hearn or rooting against Eddie Hearn. This is just me explaining how serious this disease is because it did hit home. It hit home, and it hit home very hard. And I know people that had family members that passed on because of this. So again, to me, this isn't a joke. All right. This is bigger than boxing. This is about people's lives here. So that's all I'm saying. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Make sure you tune in to the Ringside Reporter podcast every Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you check out Maestro Boxing on his channel. Make sure you check out D-Style Boxing. Make sure you check out Maestro and myself every Thursday on the Throwback Thursday Roundtable on D-Style Boxing's channel, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Till next time, Beeb is out. Thank you all for joining me on the panel, and thank you all for joining us in the chat. And we will see you later. Have a great day, and everyone stay safe. Peace out, everybody.